you go.
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxing Ego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. I swear, if I keep getting it right, they're going to have to put me in the Guinness Book of World Records. Another one. Shakur Stevenson versus William Zepeda for February. It's canceled. Cancel that. I'll buy another one. The fight is not happening. It's time to get unpacked. I'm your host, Ego, of Boxing Ego. Make sure you guys subscribe after you watch the video if you liked the content. And I'm going to break down what went on. It's a sad time in the boxing game, or at least for some. So Golden Boy president, longtime friend of Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy president, Eric Gomez, has done a brand new interview where he has this shocking revelation and reveal that allegedly, and I'll let you know at the end of this video why I say allegedly. Allegedly, he's claiming William Zepeda in his last fight sustained an injury with Tevin Farmer, and now the Shakur fight, it ain't happening. You hate to see it. So I'm going to let you guys listen to it in a brand new interview. This is what Eric Gomez had to say in an interview with
But is he fighting Zepeda in February? But is he fighting Zepeda in February?
No. So Zepeda suffered an injury.
Okay.
All right. So he hurt his hand. He suffered an injury. So we're looking to see when we can reschedule that. But that's the fight Zepeda wants.
And I think the fans would love it too because after. But is he fighting Zepeda in February?
No. So Zepeda suffered an injury.
Okay.
All right. So he hurt his hand. He suffered an injury. So we're looking to see when we can reschedule that. But that's the fight Zepeda wants.
And I think the fans would.
So Elie Seckbach, he said, is William Zepeda going to be fighting Shakur come February, right? He says, no, and drops this bombshell that allegedly William Zepeda is hurt or injured, and now they're not doing the fight in February. Wow. If you guys are longtime fans of Boxing Ego, all I ask is give credit where credit's due. I told you, and then I showed you. I am the best in the business, and it's not even close. When it comes to blessing this mic, I've been doing it for years. I'll be like Jay-Z. I'll be one take Hove. I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close. I'm going to keep saying that because none of you guys are proving me wrong. This is exactly what I told you was going to happen if you listen to my past videos. And these are the worries that I had from jump. Again, the day ones who listen to my content, they'll be able to attest to the things I'm saying right now. For starters, I've been on record saying to put William Zepeda in with Tevin Farmer if the idea is to put him and match him in February on a Riyadh season card with Shakur Stevenson is a misstep, right? Because let's be transparent. William Zepeda, he's been looking good, pause, but he has not fought anyone even remotely close to someone that we as boxing fans and me as an analyst view is like in the same world or dimension as a Shakur Stevenson, right? He's not fought Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson, somebody we consider to be elite at this point in time in the lightweight division. So I told you guys, anybody who would listen on my channel, I told you, I was like, this is a bad style matchup. I said I could be proven wrong or I could be proven right. And we know which one of those actually happened. So him fighting Tevin Farmer proved to be a bridge too far. And now William Zepeda allegedly has some kind of mysterious injury that we've never heard about until Golden Boy just said it, and they put cold water on the Shakur Williams Zepeda fight. This is a duck. And it's funny, if you look at my last video on my page before this one is posted, I had recorded a video. I actually recorded it like days before I actually released it, you know, because I had to edit it, right? And I told you in that video, the video's on the channel, you don't have to take my word for it. I told you in that video that if Zepeda, he might try to find a way out based on how he looked and how, you know, vulnerable he looked with Tevin Farmer. I don't even think he beat Tevin Farmer. Let's throw that out there. He didn't beat Tevin Farmer to me, right? And he got dropped by Tevin Farmer. So now we're to believe that this alleged boogeyman now has some sort of injury that we've never heard until now. Credit to Shakur Stevenson in this instance. I give him full credit because you got a black fighter who is American, and he signed to Eddie Hearn, which we'll get into. Stay tuned to the end of this video. He's not the problem. You know, you could say, oh, he was supposed to fight Joe Cordina and then Williams Zepeda, but he pulled out with injury. The Cordina fight really has nothing to do with Zepeda. So that didn't affect Zepeda. Zepeda had one job, bro. One job to get out here, and he was supposed to show up and show out and defeat a guy like Tevin Farmer. Tevin Farmer got like 7 losses totally. So you were supposed to do a better job, but instead you look vulnerable and you got dropped in the fight. And now I am of the belief, yes, Boxer Ego, I strongly believe that Williams Zepeda is not truly injured. I don't care what y'all talking about. I don't believe it. I ain't seen one doctor's note. He's supposed to be the boogeyman. You know, first, here's the thing. And see, this is why I got to give props to Shakur Stevenson. Listen, whenever there's a fighter that deserves any level of criticism, I'm there to give it. But me on my channel, I can't speak for no other YouTuber, nor do I care to. That's their business. What I do right here, hold me fully accountable for what I say. And please print that. So there's elements that Shakur, you know, thinks he's done or said that I don't agree with. But when he's right, he's right. And that's where I got to give him his props. He wanted the Zepeda fight. He told everybody he wanted the Zepeda fight. He was even willing to put himself at several deficits for the Zepeda fight. Some people are like scratching their head like, oh, come on, Ego, what do you mean put himself at a deficit? He was going to put himself at a deficit. He's coming off an injury. Facts. He's coming off of surgery. Fact. He was still, despite injury, willing to go straight into a Zepeda fight who's allegedly a boogeyman. So I got to give him his P's for that. I got to give Shakur his credit for that. He could have easily said, oh, no, reschedule the Cordina fight. I need me a tune-up. Here's another thing. But wait, there's more. Golden Boy, the same person who's now breaking the bad news, Eric Gomez, that Williams Zepeda is not fighting Shakur Stevenson, the same guy, and I made a video about it, the same guy alleged that the reason the fight wasn't happening straight away and that they took the Tevin Farmer, Golden Boy president, Eric Gomez, threw that on Shakur Stevenson. He said that they wanted to make the fight straight away. Turkey wanted to make the fight straight away, and he insisted that it was Shakur. He said this in the interview. He said it was Shakur Stevenson that elected and proposed in betweener a tune-up fight. It says, yo, I got to fight Joe Cordina. I'm not going into a Zepeda straight away. Now, the Golden Boy money is looking funny under the light because that doesn't really make sense because he didn't get the Joe Cordina fight versus Zepeda won versus Tevin Farmer. So he got a tune-up, and now conveniently he's injured. Whereas Shakur Stevenson is saying, I'll bypass the Joe Cordina fight. off injury, off of a layoff, because he hasn't fought since Artem Harutyunyan. By the time February rolls around, it'll be X amount a month. Off injury, off of surgery, and I'm willing to fight straight away against Zepeda. So if Shakur, just, do some detective work here, we unpacked. If Shakur was the one that requested the tune-up fight, he didn't get the tune-up fight for obvious reasons, the injured hand, and he still said, I'll go fight Zepeda straight away, and it's not him that is ducking and avoiding the fight. Instead, it's William Zepeda that has an excuse. So Zepeda was looking like the boogeyman, right? And then conveniently, the fight where I'm telling you Tevin Farmer really should have beat him, Shakur's telling you on social media that Zepeda is looking like food to me, and he gets dropped by Tevin Farmer, who's not a big puncher. Now, for the first time in his career, he's randomly. It's funny how these things just work. He's randomly injured, and we don't know about no other major injuries. So first he had a baby, or not him, but his wifey had a baby, which prolonged the Shakur fight. Then they threw it on Shakur and said Shakur wanted the tune-up, which now doesn't make sense because Shakur's not getting a tune-up, whereas Zepeda had one, and Shakur's still willing to fight Zepeda. But now after the baby, the new excuse is he's injured, so he won't be able to fight in February, and he still wants to fight. And now the reason why I'm thinking is cap, because Golden Boy knows that Shakur is a grown man with a career, and him and Eddie Hearn, I mean, I don't speak for Eddie Hearn, but in my opinion, in my humble opinion, Eddie Hearn and Shakur, they're not going to look at this duckage from Zepeda and stall out Shakur's career. The show must go on. It's like when Jaron Ennis was going to fight Cody Crowley, and then he can't fight because he had an injury. Eddie Hearn is going to find a replacement and keep that date active, which he did, which was David Avanesian, a.k.a. David Avocado. So Golden Boy has to know that. They're talking about reschedule the fight and all that, but you have to know that Shakur, you had an opportunity to fight him in February, and you guys are basically pulling out. I don't want to hear no injury, because why was it so easy for Ego Stradamus to predict this? I predicted this motion. I predicted this move, and then it happened. I told you that Tevin Farmer fight was not going to be a good look. And then now, and it's funny because, again, when there's a criticism, I'm there to give it. But I also give credit where credit's due. People highly complain about Shakur versus Edwin De Los Santos. Some even complain about the Artem Harutyunyan performances. And, now Shakur, I guess you could say, has a reputation for being a runner, and he's going to run. And people, they got these gags and these jokes out. But who's the runner now when Shakur is still running to the fire saying, give me Zepeda, watch what I do with him? Shakur even said, I'll fight Zepeda in a tiny ring. The ring don't have to be too big. He said that. I got all the proof. I made videos about it, right? Shakur said, don't even give me a big ring. So in an effort to, this is what they do, in an effort to marginalize and make it look like the black fighter is full of cowardice, this is what old media does. This is the tactics. Let's try to make Shakur look like he's a wimp, he's yellow belly, he's scary, he's a runner, he's a ducker. They do this mostly to black fighters and Cuban fighters, guys who have a skill set that others can't contend with, right? Oh, marathon track star and runner, he's a track star, all this type of stuff. But the realistic, who's really running, Shakur is so confident in his building. People like, oh, he's pillow-fisted and he's a runner. All these negative things, but the guy with the negative things, the pillow-fisted, feather dusters and feather-fisted and runners and all these little nuanced things and traits that people are putting on Shakur Stevenson, that's the guy who's actually running towards the smoke. That don't make sense. Y'all know that. Y'all know that don't make sense. So to me, Shakur is very confident in his ability, and he knows, or he feels he can beat Zepeda. And I told you, in my videos, I never really, because I don't really do fight predictions unless it's a signed fight. This is the exact reason why. I don't waste my time. I get bread to talk boxing. So I don't like wasted time. So you never really hear me give fight predictions for fake fights. But they were all but saying that this fight was done. And I told you, Zepeda, all of what I've seen from him, all of what I've seen, I said Shakur's not losing to him at this point of their careers because he didn't look like the finished article. And I'm willing to bet with any of you chumps that if Zepeda were to have blown Tevin Farmer out the water and dominated and destroyed him and basically stopped him and had a good showing, we wouldn't be hearing about this alleged injury with no doctor's note. You see what I'm saying? We wouldn't. Because I think that would have given the confidence. Look at Golden Boy, bro. Look at how they move. When Jaron Ennis, he looked a little bit vulnerable in his last two performances. He looked hittable. Oscar De La Hoya, he ran to social media the day of the Karen Chukadasian fight. And in the rematch, De La Hoya said, yeah, 5 versus 5, let's make it. And then he said, Jaron Ennis versus Boots. So when Jaron Ennis looks weak or weaker than normal, guess what? They run to the fire. Then they're confident to put Virgil Ortiz in there with Boots. But Shakur hasn't shown this weakness. Like, he looks hard to beat, hard to hit, things like that. And then Zepeda looks weak. And then now all of a sudden, coincidentally, what a coinky dink, Zepeda is injured. This can't fall on Shakur. I know Shakur does whatever. Some people be mad at him on Twitter, but I can't put this on Shakur. This is fully William Zepeda and Golden Boy, because let's say I believe them and he's actually injured. If you truly had intentions of fighting against Shakur in February, then this is poor management of the career to even put him in with somebody, like I told you from the beginning, as challenging for his style and as crafty as a Tevin Farmer, southpaw, doesn't rely only on offense, counters, has a defense, learn from prior losses. Why even put him in there with the up? So no matter how you slice it, even if you personally believe that he's actually injured, it's still their fault, because that's what you get. Like I told you from day one, you should have put him in with another Mercita Hester. You should have stepped down that competition a lot. But they were trying to use Tevin Farmer as a stepping stone. Credit to him. Shout out to Philly. Tevin Farmer told you he not going to make it to the Shakur fight effing with me, because effing with me is what it's going to be. And he told you that. And then now he was right, because now all of a sudden they don't want to make the fight. Bro, blame Golden Boy. I'm blaming William Zepeda. I don't care what y'all talking about. He didn't look good with Tevin Farmer, and this move shows. This is a duck. We got to call it what it is. Lomachenko talking about retirement instead of fighting Tank. Is this your king? Lomachenko, y'all said that Tank was running and scared of Lomachenko, and then he ducked. He ducked Tank. Y'all said Zepeda is the boogeyman, and then now he's miraculously hurt right before he's supposed to fight Shakur. Now, the bad news I will say for this as well, another thing you must give me credit for, because I'm the best in the business, and it's not even close, is, if you recall, on my social media and in my videos, I told you guys, this is precisely what I don't like about DAZN, Riyadh season, and Eddie Hearn particularly, and anyone else that does it, but I see it a lot being done from the DAZN side. Negotiating fights in the public. It is a no-no. This is something very foolish to do, and I've told you my gripes with that. Because when you negotiate in the public, now you're opening those floodgates for everybody to opine and weigh in with their opinions. It just gets real messy. In addition, this is another reason why you don't do that. It's like sending out housewarming invitations to your friends and family, telling them to RSVP before you close escrow and get the keys to the house. You don't even know. They could do a background check or something last minute, or have another buyer who's, put up more money, whatever the case is, and you don't get that house. Just because you think the deal is done, you got to wait until the ink dries and wait till the realtor is handing you keys, you and your spouse or whatever, handing you keys, and then you make the arrangements and, the gift registrations and housewarming, invitations and all of that. It's stupid. If you suspect that she's pregnant, you don't send baby shower invitations. If you haven't done the pregnancy test, let her pee on the test. Let her get an ultrasound. You don't just start sending out a bunch of invitations and you find out it was a false alarm. She was just late. You dig? So this is why I don't like that negotiating in public, because you heard from DAZN and Eddie Hearn, oh, we want to make Shakur and Zepeda. For weeks and months, they've been talking about this fight. Everybody seemed like they were locked in, and now we're not getting the fight next. That's what it sounds like, right? So this is a bust, and this is, again, why you don't negotiate in public. Now, the downside and the bad news, because I give you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. The bad and ugly for Shakur is another thing I got right. He was calling out Tank. I'm like, why aren't you going where Tank is at, knowing he's the A side, a.k.a. Al Heyman PBC? Imagine Shakur not listening and heeding Boxing Ego's advice, signing a 2-fight deal with Eddie Hearn, and linking up with Turkey and Riyadh season and all this, right? Your first fight gets canceled because of you, because you were injured. So you don't get paid for the Joe Cordina fight, I'm imagining, since it didn't happen. You were supposed to be on an undisputed card, better be of Beevil, and, get that first, pop your cherry, your DAZN cherry. That didn't happen. Then they gave you a big name, or said they were giving you a big name. And then now come to find out, who knows if the fight was happening. Yes, Eric Gomez said he wants that fight, but it didn't sound convincing to me. And the fact that the fight was supposed to happen in February and now it's not, I have no hope that the fight, I'm just considering it not, one of those fights in boxing that may not happen, because this was the grand opportunity to make this fight. And again, I'm going to keep stressing the same things. Eddie Hearn did all these interviews and he was talking about, oh yeah, mate, it's the biggest card we've ever done. It's the best Riyadh season. Cap. How is it the best Riyadh season if one of the major fights that y'all pretty much said was going to be on the card, and we now know, per Golden Boy, it's not going to be on the card? So this is why you don't blabbermouth and tell the whole world about fights before you've secured those fights. Because look at it. Virgil Ortiz and Jerron Boots Ennis. Who knows if that happens? Golden Boy saying they want it, but Jerron Ennis would have to move up to 54. He's coming off of a kind of performance with Karen Chukadasian. He's a champion at 47. Who knows if he guaranteed wants to move up and fight Virgil Ortiz in a quick turnaround in February, right after the holidays. I don't know. So this is why you got to be like PBC. Don't talk about it, be about it. They just say, oh, David Benavidez, David Morrell Jr., food's ready. Brandon Figueroa's on the card rematching Cool Boy Fulton. Food's ready. Don't tell me about dinner. Tell me when it's ready. You know what I mean? I'm from the old school. Eddie Hearn doing all this blabbering, talking about Shakur will beat William Zepeda and, it's the best card. How is it the best card? Y'all clearly haven't finalized it, and you haven't considered all the X factors like William Zepeda getting hurt. So I don't understand that. I don't see how this is the best card that Turkey's done and all that. Because who is Shakur going to fight next? Y'all let me know. Y'all say I don't know boxing. Okay. Tell me who's going to fight. Yeah, he's arguing with Kambosos. First of all, I don't even want to see him in Kambosos. What's the point? Second, DAZN is trying to acquire a deal with basically a broadcaster in Australia. So I don't know if that'll be the plan to put him straight in a fight that he very well could lose. Like, let's be real. George Kambosos would, in a fight, not like he's funny on Twitter and stuff, but in a fight, he's not going to be the favorite over Shakur. So that would be very damaging. He's a brand new signee with Eddie Hearn, right? And you put him straight away coming off a loss, because, like, look, he got knocked out by Lomachenko. He really lost to Maxie Hughes, even though they said it was a win. If you really watch boxing, Lomachenko fight's a loss. The Maxie Hughes fight should have been a loss. And then he definitely lost twice to Teofimo. So from 2022 all the way to 2024, so the last 2 years, he's pretty much lost 1, 2, 4 fights, right? And people are saying he's a one-hit wonder because his best win in his career is 2021 with Teofimo Lopez. That doesn't really stack well and compare to what this William Zepeda Shakur fight was said to be, because at least Zepeda's a puncher. He's a volume guy. You have different dynamics. It's just a different fight than Kambosos. No shade to Kambosos. I'm just talking about where he's at in his career. So I don't know if that's even the move. Another thing, since I know my boxing and I'm the best at this, and it's not even close, is Kambosos said he's moving up to 140. Shakur fights at 35 and is a champion at 35. So clearly that's another conflict. So I'm not really sold that that fight needs to happen at all. And I don't see how it happens, to be honest, because, again, Kambosos hasn't had a strong win since Teofimo in 2021. He arguably lost like 4 fights in a row. On paper, he lost 3 of the 4, at best. And he said he's moving to 140. So, and he's coming off a loss and a knockout to Lomachenko. So how do you sell a Shakur fight Riyadh season with Kambosos, right? And we can't necessarily expect, just like Tank, you can't expect Shakur to go up to 140 when he's a champion. He don't have to do that. I mean, he can if he wants to. So I don't know. Keyshawn, he's not fighting because they're boys. Keyshawn's fighting Denis Beranchenk. That's a unification on Top Rank. So that's another champion he won't get. Tank, they're not, even if he's not going to fight Tank next. I know that. But either way, that wouldn't be on Riyadh season on DAZN anyway. Shakur would have to bust a move to PBC. So again, if it's not Zepeda, who is Shakur going to fight? Now, if Golden Boy, my last suggestion is this, because this is why I do these detailed unpacks. My name is Ego. If you enjoy this format, there's a lot of low quality content. People that don't know boxing, they just spat whatever. A lot of lies, a lot of clickbait, low quality content, if you will, right? Video quality is boo-boo. The audio quality is bad. People rushing out quick videos just to try to get some clicks. Over here, we take our time with it. And I think the people can appreciate that. If you can, subscribe to the channel, share the video, like, comment, all that good stuff. I'm not in a rush. I want to give you guys the real boxing work, right? But Golden Boy, their last hope of saving face, to me, Ego, is putting Floyd Schofield in a Golden Boy fighter with Shakur Stevenson. That's the only other fight that, to me, they could really offer that kind of makes sense for Shakur if they're looking for a nice fight for the fans. Because, again, I'm not going to pull up all of, the boxing rankings because I don't get paid to do that. I get paid to make this video. The promoters, they got to figure out Zepeda out, who can we replace him with? But I have all the fighters in the rankings pretty much up here, and I know who's at 135, and it's not looking so good. You know, Ryan said he can't make 140 anymore. Plus, he's suspended till April, so he out of here. How you going? If he's suspended to April in America, how you gonna fight Shakur in February, late February? And he's doing an exhibition in December, so Ryan is not a. Because the reason I'm saying this is because I've already done the math. A lot of you guys just spit out names and like, oh, Ryan, he'll fight Keyshawn. And logistically, for a litany of reasons, a lot of these options either aren't available or don't really make sense. Keyshawn, not realistic for obvious reasons that I said earlier. He's fighting Dennis Baranchenk. George Kambosos, I've already explained. Ryan is suspended. That's not an option. You know, I know people are going to be like, oh, but Devin Haney. I mean, honestly, do you really think that Devin Haney and Shakur are going to fight in February? Especially if it might not be a main event. It might be like a co-feature because I don't know what their main event is. Come on, bro. Shakur Stevenson is at 35. I don't think Devin can even make 35. So, again, I highly doubt that fight happens next. So, if it's no Zepeda and they still want to put him on the card in a big fight, the only person that I could think of that's reasonable, available, and realistic, and the logistics make sense, if Golden Boy offers up Floyd Schofield, who's definitely talked bad about Shakur Stevenson, that would be a very good fight and a very nice consolation prize to losing out on Zepeda. But again, I'm not giving none of the blame to Shakur Stevenson in this case. In the future, if he does something, then, you know, we'll take it on a case-by-case basis. This is all Golden Boy. This is all Zepeda. Shakur, he done everything he said he was going to do. He said, put me in a small ring, check. Give me no tune-up and pencil me in to fight Zepeda, check. Eddie Hearn and Shakur said that we've agreed to our side of the contract, check. And then he was also pressing William Zepeda and Golden Boy on social media. He's like, what's taking y'all so long? What's cracking? Like, please don't duck me. Y'all better not duck me, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, what more can you really ask of a fighter than to be vocal, be adamant, have the support of your promoter, Eddie Hearn, who was trying to make the fight? I'm telling you, that Tevin Farmer fight messed things up. He messed it up, you know? And I, like I said, people get mad when I toot my own horn, but hey, I predicted this. I told you that Tevin Farmer fight, the only way it would have benefited Zepeda is if he went in there and dog walked him and stopped him or something. Then maybe Golden Boy would have the confidence. But I'm telling you what it is. They like, bro, how you look bad? How you look bad on Latino night when you Latino? Bro, they had Latino night in Saudi Arabia. Bro, first of all, that don't even really make sense. Bro, that don't even make sense, cuz. That's like having Mexican food at the Olive Garden. Like, it don't even make sense, dead homies. But anyway, he was on Latino night and getting dropped and looking suspect. Now you mysteriously can't fight Shakur in February. Look, here he is. Shakur says, yeah, tag these scary Mexicans. Mexicans usually got a lot of heart, but these dudes are so scared. And listen, look, yo, Eric Gomez, what's the word? It's been quiet on y'all. He said it's been quiet on y'all end. Let's make this fight happen. Let's lock in this fight. I think all y'all are soft. Y'all so scared for that boy to get in the ring with me. You was talking real big in that interview. Talk, fake Mexicans. Now, I'm going to address the fake Mexican. Shout out to La Raza that watches my channel. But I seen people trying in the comment section and stuff. They were saying Shakur's racist. Bro. Some of y'all are some snowflakes, bro. What did he say that was racist? What did he say that was racist? He's calling them specifically fake Mexicans because Zepeda's Mexican Eric Gomez and Oscar De La Hoya, Mexican American, right? Chicanos. And he's saying that regime, they are fake. He's not talking about, see, to be racist, you have to have a generalized like statement, and it applies to the whole shebang, you know, the whole smorgasbord. He didn't say Mexican people ... Come on, bro. So I seen people, he's right. He's right. They acting scary, and at the end of the day, this don't look good on Zepeda at all. You're supposed to be the big bad wolf. Shakur's supposed to be the runner, and you had an opportunity for a big fight that people were getting hyped for and started predicting and stuff. And then what? Now you injured. Wait, let's see a doctor's note, bro. Like Shakur, when he hurt his hand for the Joe Cordina fight, he at least leaked the tape of him hurting his hand. We ain't heard nothing but Eric Gomez doing that interview with ES News. Man, get me out of here. We unpacked.